The Cooper-Hill Stylebook is the single most effective writing and revision tool on the market, both for the instructor and for the student. You can view the Stylebook on a computer or a tablet. Let's navigate through the Stylebook using a computer. The quickest way is to use either the magnifying glass search window at the top of every page or the table of contents icon also at the top of every page. The table of contents, of course, gives you a general overview of the entire book. To find a specific topic, such as, say, perfect tenses, you can scroll through the table of contents. Or you start to type perfect tenses into the search window, which is on page 81. If you want to just browse through the Stylebook, go to Thumbnails by clicking on the Table of Contents icon at the top of just any page. So clicking on the thumbnails will give you a numbered thumbnail of every page. Click on a thumbnail to bring up whichever page you choose. You can also easily link back to a former location by clicking in the bottom margin of a page. So how can you as a student writer use the Stylebook? First, this is your guide to rewriting the first draft of your corrected essay. So if your instructor has marked a Chapter 6 problem, go to the magnifying glass search window icon at the top of any page and type in Table of Contents. The top entry in the drop-down menu will hyperlink to the table of contents. And then you just scroll to Chapter 6, which deals with whoever versus whomever. Here you find a clear explanation of the problem and directions on how to fix it. First, the frequently asked question defines who and whom generally and explains the difference between them. Next, you see examples of how to use who and whoever as subjects and as predicate nominatives. Of course, you first get a definition of predicate nominative and instructions on when to choose who and whoever. You get the same detailed explanations and examples for choosing whom and whomever, as well as other valuable guidance. For extra practice, you can go to the exercises at the end of the chapter. Here you can do as many exercises as you need to make sure you understand how to fix the mistake on your essay. Each time you click See Answer to check your answer and then see the explanation. This immediate feedback really helps you learn. But suppose instead of a chapter number, your teacher has written down a page number, say page 18. Well, that's very easy to find. You just type 18 into the magnifying glass search window and then click on page 18 to find that you need to make your argument relevant. What you get here is an explanation of the problem, instructions on how to fix it, and then examples. If you still need more help or if you want to explore the subject further, you can link to the cross-references on the bottom of the page. So now let's assume that your teacher has written an abbreviation like REL for relevance, or ARG for argument, or MISP mod, that's MISP, MOD, for misplaced modifier. Then you know that he or she is using the quick key to marginal comments. To find the mistake and learn how to fix it, type quick key in the magnifying glass search window and then click on the first entry in the drop-down window and click on the highlight. The quick key is alphabetized, so the teacher's comment is easy to find, and here you will find relevance, rel, argument, arg, and misplaced modifier, misp mod. You can also use this book as a reference guide while writing your essay. You can quickly and easily find the answer to any grammar or punctuation or documentation question in the table of contents and in the index. Both are extensive and specific. Say you're not sure about the placement of an apostrophe. Simply travel to apostrophe in the index, and you'll find not only that it's in chapter 56, but you'll also find all the possible uses of the apostrophe in the specific sections for each piece of information, for contractions, for omitted numbers, pluralizing letters, numbers, signs for joint property, and so on and so forth. And each of these entries is hyperlinked. Of course, you don't have to go to the index. You can just type words used as words in the search window. And now you see all your options, how to pluralize them, how to punctuate them, whether to italicize them or enclose them in quotation marks, and so on. This book really helps you polish your writing. You learn to choose clear and specific words and avoid vague ones in the chapter on word choice. You learn to avoid heavy language and to correct it. And if you need a transition in your essay, type transitions into the search window. Here you have a list of specific transitions that help you navigate from paragraph to paragraph and section to section in your essay. Do you want to make your writing more vivid? Simply consult rhetorical figures. We see that rhetorical figures start on page 324, so we just type the page number into the search window. Here, 11 types of figures are grouped in 4 categories. Rhetorical figures are defined, and each figure is explained and illustrated with practice exercises and answers at the end of each chapter. If you want to master strong logical arguments, link to rhetorical fallacies for guidance. We find rhetorical fallacies on page 284. Here, 26 types of fallacies are grouped in 6 categories to help you formulate and respond to arguments. Each group of fallacies is prefaced by a frequently asked question that defines the category in general and explains its flaws. Each individual fallacy is explained and then is illustrated by examples. As usual, exercises with answers and explanations follow each chapter. So, let's take a look at this one. The Vietnam vet claims that the Veterans Administration has withheld his benefits for over a year. The Veterans Administration denies the claim and points out that this man also maintains a webpage that discusses UFOs. We see that the argument is both an ad hominem and an irrelevancy because instead of dealing with the problem, the Veterans Administration casts doubt on the man's credibility and even his sanity by suggesting that he believes in UFOs. In addition, the subject of his webpage is irrelevant to the subject of his claim. To support your arguments, you need to use quotations effectively, as shown in Chapter 66, on page 447. Here you learn to introduce quotations, use them, and comment on them with examples that show both content and formatting. Take a look at the difference between the unclear and the revised examples. Finally, use the Stylebook for your research papers to help you cite, footnote, and document your sources in the easiest and most accurate way possible. For example, see how to format footnotes, or how to indicate missing information, and how every possible type of footnote actually looks. Or if you wish to consult parenthetical references, hyperlink to Chapter 72 on page 466 and find exactly the model you need. To format Works Cited entries, type Works C for Works Cited in the search window, then click on the top entry and find Works Cited on page 484. Here you'll see both descriptions and models of how every possible type of reference should be formatted. The Cooper Hill Stylebook is simply the quickest and easiest way for you to become the best writer you can be.